Hello and welcome back to Elite Geospatial. Today we'll be doing more of specific tools in ArcGIS Pro, and we'll be dealing with the 80-20 analysis, which is specifically a crime analysis. So we're just going to be searching for that tool, 80-20. So if you check, it's under crime analysis and safety toolbox. So you can get it from the geoprocessing tool. You just search directly from the range of tools and have that pop up. So now the 80-20 analysis deals with it's just from the concept of our last class, the Pareto principle, where 80% of the result comes from 20% of the action, or we could say where the Pareto himself gave an example of people in his time with the entire land in Italy were owned by 20%, or 80% of the fruit in his garden comes from just 20% of the trees. So now we want to look at some crime data to look at where this disproportionality comes from, like where the crime occurs more at a specific location. So we're just going to have that analysis, I believe, from the class and to this as a practical session. All right, so I have a data of northeastern Nigeria. It's a crime data from 1997 to 2024. So I'm just going to bring in that data and then we'll have a look at it. So this is my work folder here. So I'm just going to go down and pick out that data so that we will have a look at it. So so I have a data of the northeastern Nigeria here. So I just bring it in, or let me also bring it out to the base. So I'm just going to bring the data out so that we see. Okay, so this is a crime data of the Northeast, and this data is purposely just for violence against civilians. So we want to know from the rate of death where it occurs, in how many locations it's occurring frequently, or more like a repeat problem. That's what we're trying to look at here. A repeat problem where same occurrences or repeat victimization, things like that, just any of how it's come across and will help your work. Any of them will serve. So once I bring the data in, so you know as well, you have to select an output. And another thing is the aggregation method. If I want to compare with another data, I will say closest feature. So I'll now select a feature, maybe like road or anything, but this time around I'm not interested in that. So I'm just going to leave it at cluster, and I won't be filling anything out the tolerance and cluster tolerance. No, I'm just going to select a kilometer, and the output field, like where I want it, what I'm trying to analyze. This data has a range of a whole lot of things. Like it has a death rate between the civilians, and mostly like this data captures things like terrorist group attack on civilians, police brutality, any violence against human, protests and fatalities and the rest. So whatever you can think of within those classification of crime on civilians are what are captured here. So, but they also group the categories of the death between the civilian death, the servicemen, the police, the military, and all of that. They classify their death, and then they also have, so the death of the servicemen are this one, death A, that we are terrorist group, like different terrorists like Boko Haram and all the other terrorist group you can think of within the axis of our nation, and then the civilian death. Then we have the unknown, those who they can't really identify whether it's a civilian, it's a serviceman, it's a terrorist group. So it's just classified as an unknown. And then finally, we have the best, which is like a accumulation of each of these four categories. So we're going to use the that's more like the total death to make reference to this. So our output will be best. All right. Sorry for this pop-up. My system is connected to internet. So once that is done, I'm just going to hit run. So it's going to process, and then it's going to give me an output. So let's wait for the output. So we have an output, and you can see that the repeat problem happens here. So if let's put a map to it, I think let's change this map and put a map we could be able to visualize well. So I'm going to come to base map, and I'm going to select an imagery. So if you check here, this is where the issue repeats more oftenly. So I don't know where this is, but I believe this is Maiduguri, where the incidents occur very more, because I can see an airport here. So this seems to me as Maiduguri, since there are no labels. So you can see that from the label we have between 614 to 816 repeat issue, and then that's the crime count. Let's go to attribute table. I think you understand that more. So if I right click on this northeast, and then I hit on the attribute table, we should be able to understand from the incident count. You can see it's 16, 384, 383, 5, like that, all of that. So all of the incident count were what we'll use to categorize this. So from here, you can easily use this incident count to do other analysis, like you can use it to do hotspot analysis and so on and so forth. So using this 80-20 analysis will immediately help you understand like where you have repeat issues. So it can also help you just as much as hotspot, where to focus resources on, where to focus strategies and all that. So depending on how this will help in your work, depending on the output you want to come, I believe I may not be able to paint as much example as possible, but I believe the little explanation will go a long way in your work. So thank you for tuning in today. If you consider this video useful, do not forget to like, subscribe, share, and let others have a feel of what you enjoy with us. So thank you, and I'll see you in the next video.